My stomach is in knots. It's in knots. It's quite likely the final turn of the heroes in this this game of Middle Earth Quest. I always feel like this game doesn't go on long enough. I feel like the heroes are just kind of hitting their stride, and then the shadow falls, or else they win. Either way, it just doesn't. It feels like I want more time for the game to develop. But it's not over yet. They still have a chance. There's still hope, right? So let's look at how they're doing on our whiteboard. Scoots. The place is still the same. The placement is still the same. But Scoots has less points now, so it's possible Red Tomato could jump her in the place ranking. Another thing to look for is Aqualad. Mooney's Aqualad has a boat. He could possibly lose it. That would be worth a point to him. So, and not a point here, but a point in the larger mega tournament. Let's get down to it. This is not funny at all. Curly just made it so that there's a winter storm around the region of Erebor, and thus Scoots, who gets to go first this turn, is going to be Scoots, Mooney's Aqualad, then Red Tomato. She only gets to go one space, which is not enough to get to the Woodland Realm. I don't know if it's even worth it for her to move at all, because she's still running the risk of messing with this monster and then getting hit by that black serpent. And so I think she's going to just stay there. She did rest, however, so if there is another turn, she seemed kind of the best hope for there to possibly be another turn. Then she'll maybe be able to do something. But right now she's snowed in. So it's time for the big battle against Goldmug of versus Mooney's Aqualad, and a Morgul blade appeared for right in Aqualad's back. It's the third betrayal of Aqualad in this game, for those of you who aren't keeping track. I certainly am. First time was in Fangorn, second time was in the Gladden Fields, and then the third and final time is in Mount Gundabad, right before he was going to take on Gothmog of Golgoroth, Lieutenant of Sauron, with a whole 2 cards. This does 3 damage to him, making it so he has no cards. He's defeated, and he's also now deranged. As he dreams his fever dreams in Rivendell, the delirious Aqualad has a decision to make. Actually, Mooney has a decision to make, and the decision kind of, I think, will speak to how he thinks the rest of the game's going to go. He has to choose whether or not to lose a favor, which he would keep if he thought that there was a hope of succeeding, because the boat is no longer super useful. It doesn't look like for the rest of the game. Or he can get rid of the boat, which would mean he thinks the game is about to end. Since his favor isn't necessarily enough to sway the tide next turn anyway, unless he goes and gets more favor, he's going to choose the boat. It does not look well for the heroes. And what could be the very last battle of this game of Middle Earth Quest? It's the Witch King versus Beravor, ambushed in the northern wastes. Beravor was by the Witch King. Beravor has no life pool, but he does have quite a bit of cards. However, whatever damage the Witch King does to him is going to come out of those cards. So he has that going against him. The Witch King, for those of you who don't know, has 13 life. That's probably about how many cards Beravor has total. And the Witch King has 10 cards and 10 strength, so he can play those cards. It will be tough. If Red Tomato is able to win this battle and get rid of one of the plots in play, he will be the second place winner if the heroes lose this game. If not, he'll be third place is what it's looking at. But we'll have to do some calculations after the game is over. If this is indeed the last turn, maybe they can come back. All right, the combat is resolved, and Barivore did not win. However, he also did not lose. He basically defended himself to the point where the Witch King was just exhausted. It was made easier for him by the fact that Curly decided to go for big cards. This first Earthquake, however, it canceled Barivore's defense card, which was, I don't know, something that would have defended, and then did 4 damage on top of that. So after his battle with the Witch King, Red Tomato had these 2 cards remaining. Not enough to get him anywhere other than to Gothmog of Gogoth, which, you know, he would need 1 card to get to him and then 1 card to defend himself, and hopefully beat him in order to defeat the plot that's there. I don't think that he can do it with 1 card. I don't think it's possible, no matter how much moxie Red Tomato has. So he just decided to end his turn there. He doesn't want to draw it out. Let's take a look. Oh, okay, so it's Sauron's turn. Now he's going to move this to the finale space. That means we check to see if Sauron's met his goal. And as you can see, he did. I was aware of that. I knew he was going to meet his goal there. I tried to hide it from you, but it was apparent to me that he was going to win. Not throughout the entire game, but that last turn definitely I knew he was going to win. Well, I you know, even then I was telling myself that there was a chance. I thought Red Tomato might be able to like run down and use his horse and all those cards to get rid of a bunch of plots or something, get some favor, or have some mega turn that would save things. I also thought Scoots had a chance, and maybe they could, you know, if only they could just stall it for 1 more turn, then maybe their marker would reach the end first, or they would reach the end simultaneously. I don't know what happens if the markers reach the end simultaneously, but the heroes had too much corruption by the end. Just barely, but that move on that blade, that final betrayal on Mooney's Aqualad gave them the 1 more corruption card they needed to not meet their goal. So even if they got there simultaneously, I don't know, there was just too many factors. But I still retained hope. It was the kind of hope that you know is maybe not warranted or not. I was kind of like lying to myself, maybe. So what happened there? I think a couple things. I think throwing in the boat definitely changed it. The fact that there was a competition among the heroes, boat or no, for points, maybe, I think definitely affected Scoot's play. I think she played very well. She was probably she was, as you can see here. This is now their placement points. So these are the points they're going to take into the tournament. All these people are going to play Return of the Heroes, which is a bright spot for me. I'd much rather play that than Small World. I think that'll be fun. But she played well. I think the couple turns back, I don't remember where it was. I think it was maybe last video. She had a choice of whether to stay in the Haven or to move. If moving was a risk for her, I think she took the safe bet thinking, hey, she'll get 2nd place rather than risk getting 3rd or 4th place. Who knows what was... I guess we could look at what was under that tile to see what the effect that would have had. So it was a monster. She probably made the... she made the move that was beneficial to her. I don't know that she could have gotten to get rid of that plot, but she might have. So who knows? I think she would have probably made a different choice, however, if the stakes were different. So I think that affected the game. I'm assuming it's designed to be balanced between the heroes and Sauron. So if there's some element that changes the way the heroes interact with each other, that's going to give the advantage to the Sauron player. So there was a lot of things going on. I think there was a lot of good things that came out of it, though. I think Red Tomato and Mooney, I think, have developed something of a friendship that I think they'll carry on into the future, no matter what happens in this tournament. I think in subsequent games, wherever, I think they can call each other friend. They can enjoy some of the social aspect of the game rather than just being my puppets to entertain me. So that was good. You know, I think, I don't know, I could say some more things that I think, but I'm just talking. All right, so that was pretty good. I'm really happy that Mooney ended up with a boat. I think it kind of happened anticlimactically how he got the boat. He was just given it, but then maybe that gave the story that whole friendship ring that I wasn't really expecting. I thought if the boat came into play, actually what I really thought would happen is that he'd get the boat and then he'd start doing awesome. He did start to do a little better, but it didn't seem like by the time he got the boat there was enough time for things to happen. Again, I kind of wish the track was longer, but maybe if it was, the game would peter out. I don't know. It seems like it was just starting to get really exciting, at least for me. I liked Curly's choice of kind of moving the heroes back and forth on the map. First they were going north, then they were going south. No, first they were going south, then they were going north, and then he put his real big plot to the south. And I thought that was pretty cool, because they were all tied up in the north with the plots there, which were also real. And the cards kind of worked out in his favor. That event that put the plot, the little mini plot with this green marker, that made it so that if they went north or south, there's 4 spaces he's moving. So if no one hero could hope to take care of the plots in either the north or the south. So they had to kind of do it together, but then they were neglecting the other one. So I've talked enough. Another positive though. I'm trying to give positives because I know you're all bummed out. I know you're all feeling hurt right now. I don't know that, but if you were me watching this, you would feel a little bummed. Probably not as bummed as I feel playing it, because it's a little different playing it than just watching someone play it. But I know you're all bummed out, so I want to tell you about something exciting that's going to be happening. I got a special project to do next. I might do a review in between. But I got a special project coming up with Rocking Horse Dreams that's going to be really fun, and I think will really be uplifting to all of us after this kind of catastrophe. You know, and I want to say another thing. I think Curly's a good character. I don't have the same problems with him that I had with... Oh, I bumped the camera. That I had with Otto. And I think, you know, I'm coming to see Otto as maybe a good character, I think. But I'm not going to talk about Otto. I think Curly is a great character, but he is such a villain. Like, it's painful to see him win. And it's not, you know, I oftentimes like the villains because they have a better character, but he's just such a good villain. I just want to tear off his card, but I'm not going to because he's part of the tournament, and I'm determined to find the kernel within him that is worth knowing and appreciating. You know. So we're gonna be taking a little break from the Real People Multi-Game Solitaire Mega Tournament to do this cool project. It involves another game I love called Duel of Ages with Rocking Horse Dreams. And then we'll come back. I'm not sure what game we'll be doing. I've got some options. We'll see. We'll see. Time changes things, but I think I've passed the point where there's a good jumping off place for this soliloquy. So I'm just going to say thank you for watching and enjoying this game of Middle-earth Quest with me. Sorry I got kind of upset about it. Sorry it was maybe upsetting for you, but in the end I had a lot of fun.